Hello, Jerry here with Season 4, Episode 33 of Ask Jerry Tachoir. If you'd like to ask me a question, I always forget to mention this, so I thought I'd do it right up front. Simply go to my website, which is tachoir.com, Tachoir. In the upper right-hand corner is a little contacts tab. Click on that, fill out your name and information, and ask your question, and perhaps we'll do one of these videos. And please, if you will, subscribe to this channel. It helps out a lot. Fortunately, I've been on tour for the last month and a half exclusively. I was home for maybe 2 days. So it's been a long time since I've done one of these Ask Jerry videos. So here I am and bringing another one to you. Today, what I'd like to do is there are two questions that pertain to somewhat a similar subject, and I'd like to combine these two questions. Let me read them to you. The first question is, hello, Jerry. Thanks for all the videos and educational material you offer. It has been super beneficial. I find your playing to be so smooth and clean, more so than most other vibists. Well, thank you. Your technique is dazzling. I know you perform a lot with your wife, and I'm curious how that works, being together that much. You two seem to be well connected musically. Hope to hear from you soon. And this comes from Andres in Brazil. Okay. And then the next one, let me find it. 1 second here. Here we go. Mr. Tachoir, I've seen you perform several times and have watched your videos over and over. Your music is spiritually and wonderfully recorded. I know you primarily play original compositions primarily by Marlene. Does she compose for their vibraphone, or does that not matter? Best, Michael from South Dakota. So, these are both great questions, and I'd like to talk a little bit about when I was at Berklee College of Music, I met Marlene Debienne. She's a French-Canadian pianist, composer. And we got married, and we moved to New York City. And when we first got married, we made a conscious decision not to work together, because we figured living together and working together, it's just going to be too much together, and it jeopardized our relationship. So we really went out of our way to avoid performing together. Well, again, one day while we were in New York City, I had a performance that evening in which my piano player, for some reason, couldn't make the engagement. And I didn't have enough time then to rehearse somebody, because most of the music that I do is original, and you can't just show up and play it because you've never heard it before. So I didn't have time to rehearse anybody or to actually find somebody that would be able to play this music, because most of it was by Marlene. And so it's original and it's kind of complex. So I asked Marlene, I said, hey, I got this performance tonight, I'm stuck. Would you possibly be interested in coming, playing with me on this show? And she said, well, I have nothing else going on this evening, so yeah, sure, let's do it. So she came, and it was real easy for the simple reason that most of the material was again, her compositions, so she knew them really well, and she's just a virtuoso. She plays incredible and has perfect pitch, so she hears everything. So after the end of that performance, we kind of looked at each other and says, you know what, this was pretty nice, and this was pretty easy. We probably need to maybe think about doing more of this. So we started writing exclusively for piano and vibes in relationship to our quartet, but also in terms of the duo. She wrote a couple really nice duo pieces way back then, and some of them we have published. So you can look at Rio Cat Music, my website there, and you can see some of our published material. One of the first ones is a tune called Design, which it was a really cool piece. We actually recorded it on one of our recordings as well. So check it out. And it might be something that will work for you if you're looking for a piano and vibraphone duo combination. Now, regarding her compositions, when she composes, okay, obviously she knows the vibraphone very well because she's heard me, she's lived with me, we've performed together, so she knows the instrument very well. Now that I have this beautiful extended range instrument, a Bergerald, going down to C, which is finally a finished instrument in my view, it has opened up a lot more things available to her compositions. So when she would compose, she doesn't necessarily write for the vibraphone. Though she knows the sound of the vibraphone, she knows the capability of like my technique and how I play. She knows obviously the range of the instrument, especially with this extended range now. She's very aware of the notes that are available. But when she composes musically. I mean, in other words, she's sitting at the piano, she's got 88 notes available to her. So when she writes stuff that's somewhat pianistic, but yet she's thinking and maybe hearing the vibraphone. No, she does not write exclusively for the vibraphone, which is one of the things I dig the most about her compositions, is the fact that when I get it, it's a challenge. Most of her music is somewhat, I don't want to say complicated, but it is definitely involved and complex and very musical. She writes very melodically. She hears melodies, real strong melodies, and her harmonic ability is incredible. So when I get a piece of music that she wrote, it's up to me then to take that music and adapt it to my limited range instrument. And sometimes that can be very complicated because, piano obviously has a huge range and there's a lot going on. And the technique of piano to do certain things is somewhat easy, but on the vibraphone it gets a little bit convoluted and a little bit hard to deal with. So I take her compositions, I have to massage them, I have to figure out what I'm going to do to make it work. And if it does work, I mean, there has been a couple of tunes where I says, Marlon, this really doesn't fit well on the instrument, and I'm not sure this is something that we need to do together. But for the most part, her music is great, and I love it. And the fact that we're able to work together and have like minds, and we have both obviously studied at Berkeley, so harmonically we understand each other, melodically we understand each other, the whole thing just kind of works. Now, we also kind of are aware that yes, we live together. Yes, we do a lot of work together. We have a duo, the duo Tachoir, which has been doing a lot of work lately. And we also have the band, which has a bass player and a drummer. And we're aware that there are going to be nights when maybe things don't click the way you expected them to. There might be some. So what we decided to do is after a performance, if there's an issue, we're going to deal with it at that point. And then once it's dealt with, we walk away. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We try not to let that leak back into the house and create any kind of negativity or animosity or anything like that. But we just try to resolve any kind of issue on the spot. So again, it's worked out really well. And if you know my wife, she's a very confident player in her compositions. She knows what she wants. She hears it very well. and is really not going to compromise regarding her compositions. However, when it comes to the actual performing and stretching the improvisational part, she's open-minded and very easy to deal with. And she, like I said, she hears everything with her perfect pitch, so she knows how to react to it. So that's the answers to those two questions. Yes, we live together, and again, we seem to make it work, and I think you can too if that becomes an issue with somebody else that you may be living with, that you have to work together. It's a matter of communication. You have to be open-minded and talk about things. And again, I am so fortunate that I have a composer that I like her music, and I encourage her to continue composing because her music is just challenging, but very, very spiritual and very musical and very creative. And to adapt to my instrument has always been a challenge, but something that I'm really wanting to take on. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy and keep listening to the channel. And please do subscribe, and we'll hopefully, if you want, ask me a question, or maybe we'll do a video. Thank you again so much. Bye-bye.